Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. The large Whopper candy box in her purse did not hide the contents when Dana Michelle DeLozer, age 37 of Oklahoma, gave consent to search to the law enforcement officer at 12:15 a.m. Wednesday morning on the parking lot of a convenience store in Birthright. She was a passenger in an auto that was stopped for a traffic violation. Both the driver and the passenger appeared nervous, encouraging the officer to ask permission to search the vehicle. In the Whopper box was found a clear glass pipe commonly used to smoke methamphetamine, a syringe, 4 hydrocodone, a small electronic scale. DeLozer is in Hopkins County Jail, charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram, and possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 3, less than 28 grams of a felony, a state jail felony. For those who have requested a mail-in ballot for the November general election, those ballots are in the mail to you, according to Debbie Shirley, Hopkins County Clerk. She told KSST News the ballots have finally arrived. She also tells us about registering to vote if you have not, and about early voting.
I want to let the public know that we just got our ballots. There's people calling us saying we've asked for it a long time ago. We're not getting our ballot. Well, the ballots are here. We've mailed out a set yesterday, so people will start getting them. Hopefully now, every day we're going to start getting our ballots out to everyone, and everyone will get their ballot. It might take us a day or two, but we're staying late every evening and worked on the weekend. So we're really trying to get this out because it is we get many everyday applications. And the other thing, a fairly new law that somebody might not know about is the annual application. And we already had those left over from the primary. So those were over 200. So we already had those to work on. And that's where if you're over 65 or sick or disabled, January 1, you can call us and get one of those for the whole year. It's just like a federal postcard, like a military person. They can do that now. Of course, next year, hopefully we just have one election, I'm hoping. But people can do that. So we're starting out with those, and then all the new requests, we're steadily getting those processed. So I just want the voters to know that we are trying our best to get their ballots to them.
Right. And then, of course, with early voting coming up,
yes.
you have a new place to vote?
Yes, I certainly do. I'm glad you brought that up. It's right next door. We've always had to use other facilities other than a county-owned building. I've always begged for places to be good places. This is going to be a good bit smaller, but it is going to be in the tax office building. You'll go in the front door, just like if you were going to go pay your taxes or car tags. JP's offices are housed there. There's a long hallway. You will go down the hallway. We'll have signs everywhere to let the people know where they'll go. And then there's a little small courtroom in the back, and that's where we're going to be. We are going to have several people working it, so I hope we can get the minimum of people having to wait. I hope we can cut that down, but please be patient. Voters, it's not going to be like Dallas, but you might have to wait a little bit longer, but you do have a place to wait inside, and you're not going to be out in the weather. We will process you an early voting just like we always have. It's just a little bit different quarters, a little smaller, but we are adding more equipment, so I'm hoping that once the voter gets checked in, and it'll help if the voter will have what they need, and which I think we're going to talk about now, about the new voter ID law. It's not new, but it's new requirements now. There was a court order, I believe it was August the 10th, I believe, that there's a Supreme Court ruling that said now if you don't have one of the 7 forms of ID that I have posted on my website, at hopkinscountytx.org, or they can come into my office and get a copy, that now if you have what's called a reasonable impediment, which means we see it all the time because this is where we issue birth certificates. People had a fire. They had their purse or wallet stolen. They might not have any family that can come in, and you've got to be a qualified applicant to get birth certificates. So they have now said if you can't get an ID, and that's what you have to get ID is a birth certificate, that you sign, we'll have an affidavit. It might take a little bit longer, but you'll sign a piece of paper that's declaring you have an impediment of why you can't get one of those 7 forms of ID. And then if you'll allow me, I'm going to read off so I don't miss one of what you can bring in with you. So if people will have these ready and know that this is one of the laws that we still have to ask for ID, it just might not be one of the 7 we used to could accept. One of them is if it is your birth certificate and you already had one, it has to be the original or a current or a voter registration certificate or one of the following, and the others can be copies. It does not have to be original, and that would be copy of or original current utility bill, copy of or original bank statement, copy or original government check, copy of or original paycheck. Or any government document with your name and address on it, and that has to be original if it has a photo of you. So those do have to be. And another part of that law that's changed, used to your ID, if it was expired from, if it was 60 days, over 60 days, and it was expired over 60, we could not accept those. Well, now they've made it 4 years. So if you've got something that is, within the 4 year, they are going to accept it. This is not people that comes in and they leave their purse outside in the car, or they've left it at home, or their wallet. Those people will be allowed to go back out to the car or go home if they choose and to get their ID and come back and vote. If they don't want to do that, they will be offered what's called provisional voting, and they can go ahead and vote, which it's not counted right then. It's unofficial. It's not counted until Debbie Jenkins, the voter registrar. People don't know all of how we have to do procedures and by the law, but it's called a cure period. They could anybody that doesn't have ID and they say they have it, they have 6 days to come back to the voter registrar, and we give them a notice to know where to go to take it. Then she would come back and accept that ballot if they brought it in. So that's why it's always better to have your ID with you, so you can vote a regular ballot, not a provisional. But if they brought their ID in, they would get it counted then.
With 7 forms of ID, doesn't that open up to more opportunity for fraud for voting?
Well, as a election official, we're always worried about that, but when they do check in, by mail, they don't even have to have ID. Unless when they register to vote, they didn't provide partial, like Social Security number or a DL number, then we would see a notation in the voter registration records that says ID. And then in that instance, we would do the same thing. We would have to ask for something to come sent back with the ballot so it could be counted. But they're signing that that's their name, this is their information when they're checking in to be processed to vote. And they ask them, the only question we're allowed to ask, that's another thing about the new ID or the ID requirement now. And we should never have challenged it. They will ask you if you've moved or is this a correct address. Any of this, the documents I just listed, just because this address does not match what's on the voter registration, that will not disqualify you to get to vote. We don't challenge the address. We just make sure it's you, like by name and by the date of birth and by your ID, of that information. But we will not challenge addresses at all. So we can't look at that. We can look and ask them if they've moved, though, if that's correct, because then you have to fill out what's called a statement of residence card. So that just gets all, it's a whole lot of laws to learn and what we have to do. But I have very well trained early voting clerks and my judges, and we do have training next week, I might add. If anybody is interested at our new jail, they have a training facility room that they are allowing me to use on October 11th and the 12th, which is Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are posted on my website also. Free charge. Please come if you're interested in working for an election. I like to throw that in there every chance I get because we're still short judges right now. Even with 14 vote centers, we're still short of workers. And
We mentioned you mentioned the 14 vote centers.
Yes.
That was my next question.
And I
So-
have those posted also. They'll be the same except for early voting. All the others, the ones in town, will be Lutheran Church, Wesley Methodist. We have Senior Citizen, the VFW, Courthouse now, the first floor courtroom. And we have Grace Family out on the Loop. We have Civic Center and League Street Church Cross, which is one of our biggest boxes. People seem to really, I don't know if they come down Arbela Road or League Street or whatever, but that was a busy polling place, and so was the courthouse, I guess, coming off the square. And then we've got all of our rural areas are covered by the schools. All of the rural schools except Cumbie, which we already had a nice facility there, and they said, yeah, let's just keep it at the city hall, the municipal building there. So we're still at Cumbie's municipal building, but the other rural areas are at the schools.
The Autumn Trails Model A Club is a very large club. It's from all over Northeast Texas, but as big as it is, it's just a little part of Autumn Trails 2016. You won't want to miss a single event, so be sure and pick up a brochure here at KSST with all the Autumn Trails events in it. Now let's meet Tex Willis. He's president of the Autumn Trails Model A Club.
I grew up in the Model A Club and just enjoyed them. I have 2 of them and just have a lot of fun with them.
If anyone went to Winsboro, like now, you could see one of your Model A's.
Yes, I have a 1929 Model A truck, and I have that parked there at the corner of Highway 11 and Highway 37, Broadway and Main. And I advertise for Autumn Trails coming up.
Okay, with the website there, so which is?
It's WinsboroAutumnTrails.com.
Okay, you can find out their whole schedule of events for the whole month. You also might see posters. This one is about the Trail Ride Weekend, and it's in a real bright blue. And it is October 14th through 16th for the Trail Ride Weekend, which is not just Trail Ride, but everything else.
Oh, we got a lot of things going on that weekend. There's a welcome parade with the horses. There's a trail ride they're doing Saturday and another one on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Is that the weekend of the barn dance?
That is, and we have the Marcus Lindsay Band performing there that night. So that's going to be out at the city park, at the city auditorium.
Okay. Well, I think you're going to have some stew, chili, and gumbo as part of all of that big weekend, too, in a 42 tournament. Let's switch down to this poster, which is the Antique Car Parade and Classic Car Rally Weekend.
Yes, that's on October 22nd. That's when the Antique Car Parade. I've heard it's the biggest antique car parade in Texas. I'd like to find out, but we do. We have lots of. It started out with the Model A's doing this parade in 1962. My dad drove around honking his horn, waving at people with a friend, and next year he brought some more friends, and then about 64 they organized a parade for the Model A's, and since then it has grown. We have all kinds of classic and antique cars in this parade, and it starts about 2.5 miles west of town at the railroad track crossing. It starts at 10 o'clock there. By the time it hits downtown, it's about 10:30, and when it starts from there, there will be other car clubs staged around, and the Thunderbirds will jump in, the Corvairs will jump in. So by the time, it hits downtown, it's a pretty long parade and goes 30, 40 minutes.
And afterward, do they park them all somewhere?
All the Model A's and Model T's park on Main Street for about an hour and let people come up and look at them and talk about your cars, and they can ask whatever questions. Gives our guys a chance to get out and use the restroom, go get something to eat, and people look at the cars. After that parade, though, all the other cars, if they want, can go to the city park, and there's a pavilion, the Jack Cross Pavilion, and we have a classic car show going on.
Okay.
So there's kind of 2 things going on there. And
is the Jack Cross Pavilion kind of in walking distance of downtown? Or do you need to hop on a classic
really
car
need
to get out there?
Yeah, I need to really drive. It'll take, a good 30 minutes to walk over there.
Okay, all right. Well, I want to know, now you mentioned Corvairs and Thunderbirds and T's, but you're Model A, and you're part of the Northeast Texas Club.
Right, there's a Autumn Trails Model A Ford Club, and they started there in Winsboro, but we've kind of have people all over from Van and Pittsburgh and Sulphur Springs, and all of them get together in this area and, continue our Model A hobby there. And I'm president of the Model A, the Autumn Trails Model A Club this year.
And your father, was he not parade marshal?
Yes, Bob Willis. He started the Model A's coming, and he was. We have this year. It was the second year we did a grand parade to kick off the whole month of Autumn Trails, and they made my dad the grand marshal for that.
Well, that's appropriate.
So,
and
now this, like Adele Cummings is going to be providing entertainment.
Okay.
What will happen after the parade? The parade should hit downtown about 10:30, and once it goes through downtown, then when all the Model A's are parking on Main Street, some of them will go over to the city park and go to the car show as well, but all the other cars will go over there. That should all wrap up around 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And there's 11 prizes being awarded. We have the Ronnie Deaton Best of Show, and that's going to be the Best of Show from the car show, and then there's 10 other awards that the participants vote on all the cars, and so there's at least 10 places.
Who is Ronnie Deaton?
He was a car enthusiast there from Winsboro. He had Deaton Communications, and so they just kind of honored him by having that.
Okay. I love the way that small towns such as Winsboro and Sulphur Springs, we don't forget our roots and we don't forget our past, and we try to keep those names. I know you have a chili cook-off this coming Saturday, and it's called the Gus Garrison Chili Cook-Off, I think.
The Masons are hosting it from the Gus Garrison Lodge.
Okay. And I know that person had a big part to play in Winsboro's growth.
Right. And yeah, that thing is getting real big. If y'all want some chili, come on down, because it started out kind of slow, and then I believe one of our council members, Cameron Wilcox, was challenged by our Autumn Trails board, and they started smack talking.
Oh, really?
And now, I mean, I'm going to go just to find out how good his chili is. He's saying it. He's saying he's going to win, and then the Autumn Trails spouses say they're going to win. So I've seen some pictures flying around. This chili cook-off, that might be something worth coming to.
The cooks started at 7 o'clock in the morning, and this is at the First Baptist Church.
Yeah, they have a little annex for their youth, and it's right there on Elm Street near downtown.
Okay.
I'm sure there'll be signs. If not, anybody will know where that's at. Ask them.
Okay. Also, we want to mention that some events have already been held, such as the coronation of the Miss Autumn Trails.
Right. When we did our, actually, September 24th was our kickoff parade.
Okay.
That, all the floats and cars and horses all came, and we did this parade. And that, they had the Little Miss Autumn Trails pageant.
Okay.
So that was kind of exciting. And then last week was the Autumn Trails Queen Coronation. These girls get in there and they compete, and they have different categories they have to go do. They do talent, they do evening gowns, and so they finally did that, and Miss Summer Gerasi won that this year. So she'll be our Autumn Trails Queen.
Summer Gerasi has just been crowned. In the brochure, if you get one of these Autumn Trails brochures, which I encourage you to do so, you'll see Logan Redding's picture, because she was the outgoing Miss Autumn Trails. You'll also see the entire rundown of Miss Autumn Trails for every year, starting in 1959. That's some history there. In the front of the brochure is more history on Autumn Trails, Winsboro, the trail ride. Maybe that was the very first thing that Autumn Trails organized?
Well, I'm only 50, so I wasn't here 58 years ago, but that it sounds like it could be just a time, to get out and just enjoy this countryside. I've been coming to this for 50 years when I wasn't off in the Army, and, I remember getting up these nice cool mornings, and you go out and just such beautiful foliage out here. And the past few years it's been pretty dry, so it kind of goes from green to brown. But I'm hoping with this rain we've had, maybe we'll get some good colors this year. It's just such a beautiful area of the country. This Northeast Texas is great.
even as close as Sulphur Springs and Winnsboro are together, it is more colorful over there in your part of the country, in the edge of your county, than even in Hopkins County. We have a lot of greenery over here. And we have a lot of history, too. Our fall festival is about to really get started, and so they kind of coincide, our events, with things that are going on in Winnsboro's Autumn Trails, but maybe y'all's events are kind of the granddaddy of our small towns around here.
It might be, and I think it's neat that whoever all organized this didn't just do a weekend. They said, let's do the whole month.
I know it. And y'all have been able to hold on to doing that, too. You were about to show this. What is that?
Oh, this is just one of the coffee mugs. It's got the leaves and nice, pretty fall colors on there, and it holds coffee pretty good.
Nice, large coffee mug. So maybe that'll be a prize for something that you might win at Autumn Trails. Get your brochure. Of course, it is filled with sponsor ads, and your whole area turns out to support Autumn Trails.
Oh yes, it's great to see at these parades. We had that kickoff parade. There's the welcome parade for the trail ride weekend. And then there's this antique car parade. So there's plenty, places for a parade. And people love coming to these parades and looking at all the entrants.
And some of the buildings that are used, the Rock Gym, which is kind of historic looking, it has an event in it. A school reunion.
Yes, the all-school reunion. And they'll get together, and I believe that's where the 42 tournament is.
Oh, really?
They have a 42 tournament on October 17th.
Okay. And the Rock Gym, I suppose, was at one time a school, and so that's where the
it's a gymnasium.
School reunion. Yeah, it was the gymnasium part. Oh, also a pie baking contest.
No, the 42 tournament's at the depot there.
Okay. And that's on the 15th. So 14th through 16th is another big weekend for Winnsboro Autumn Trails. Well, there's so much more that we could tell. Your committee is made up of people who really care about this month-long event and want to keep it going forward.
It is. It's all volunteers. Nobody gets paid, and we start, right after Autumn Trails. We're going to get together and find out what we can do better for the next year, and then start planning on the next year. So it's an all-year-long thing for this committee.
And you recently got on it.
Oh, I did. I was in a meeting, and because I was there for the antique car part of it, and they were discussing something, and I made a comment, and one of them says, "You need to be on the board." And somebody said, "I second." And they're worse than my wife voluntold me for doing stuff.
Okay.
The first report meeting for Hopkins County United Way Campaign Fund Drive received a total of $26,911.50. The campaign will continue through the first week of November. To provide more information about the Paris Junior College proposed district service plan, a series of town halls are being held in the coming weeks. In Hopkins County, residents are invited to a town hall on Monday, October 17th, 5:30 p.m. in the Hopkins County Regional Civic Center located at 1200 Houston Street. The meetings will provide an opportunity to hear PJC President Dr. Pam Anglin as she speaks about the college and the challenges that lie ahead. You can also learn more about the upcoming vote on November 8th, when PJC Tax District will be on the ballot, asking to include Hopkins County. Here's Don Julian with sports.
The Wildcats football team will have their hands full Friday night as they travel to Texarkana to play Texas High. The Tigers are rated number 8 in the state, and they are 5-0. Wildcats football coach Greg Owens at his weekly media gathering Wednesday morning says he sees the game as an opportunity to shock the Tigers. Here's more.
I think fundamentally we're getting better. We continue to get better. This video, is not as bad as the whole outcome of the score. When you sit down and you break it down, player by player and those things, I felt better watching that because I see improvement from individual kids. We want to pick on offense for a second. Offense was a rough. It was a rough first half. and we're in the ball game, and then we throw a pick six and it goes the other way, and just some other little things. But there's a lot of plays in there. 10 guys are doing right. One guy does a little bit and messes the whole play up. So, defense, 10 guys can screw up. One guy can make a great play, and you feel good about yourself. On offense, the reverse of that happens, and then, it's like, well, that was a terrible play. But reality was just one guy missed or somebody made a great play that makes you feel bad about it. So still trying to be more consistent in doing all that stuff. And when you play great people with speed, it bothers us. It bothers everybody. And that's why you say you can't coach it. Everybody wants it. And, but it exposes some things to you that you've got to get to. So we still got stuff to clean up, fix and all that kind of stuff. But I still think we're moving forward in the right direction. We're sitting 1-1 in the district. Got a tough opponent this week. And so, how do you look at this week? I look at this week as an opportunity. I really do. I mean, yes, it's number 8 in the state. Here they are. It's Texas High. Y'all going to ask me the questions about the Grim that I don't want to answer because it really doesn't matter, because all that matters is the guys that line up in the uniforms. So it's all that kind of stuff. And so, it just goes down to us and the matchups and all the stuff, doing the little things right. Texas High is as good as they've been in a long time on offense. They got 2 really good running backs. Number 20, the Martin kid, 6 foot 215. Number 5, the Walker kid, 5'11", 190. Both are strong, physical runners. Will run right through you. They'll get after you. Their offensive line is not as big as they've really been in the past, but they're still really good technicians. They get bodies on the bodies. They've always done that at Texas High, doing a good job of tying you up. When they go too tight or they go 4 wide, they do a good job with their offensive linemen tying you up and just getting in the way. And so they've done a good job with that. Exceptional receivers. The best 2 receivers that probably we're going to see is number 2, the Hampton kid, a smaller kid, 5'9", 165, but he is extremely quick, shifty, fast. I know there's some D1 guys looking at him. The other kid's number 9, the Hunt kid, a taller kid at 6'1", 175. Both of those guys are extremely explosive. And guys, we definitely know where they are at all times on the field. And a quarterback that's committed to North Texas, and Cade Pearson, a senior, 6'2". He's really more of a pocket kind of guy, but he can hurt you when things break down at just getting that first down, doing the little things with that. He's not really a hybrid quarterback at any stretch. They're not trying to run him at really any portion of the game. It's just when things break down and he needs to scramble, he does a nice job of getting some yardage and doing those things. So the strength of their team is their offense. They are very consistent at what they're doing, and they've remained patient. They go down 18-0 against Marshall and keep their composure, and then fight back in the ball game, and then they have some explosive plays to win that Marshall game, 36-18. So talented, those kind of things. We got to create some turnovers, and we got to. And the other side of that whole thing is we need to keep our offense on the field longer and control the ball and keep it out of their hands. That will be definitely our best defense when we're able to do that. So consistency there. When I talked about before, our guys, I see improvement. I continue to see the last 2 weeks, a lot of improvement with our offensive line. I mean, of maintaining blocks, getting on guys, reaching that potential we want them to reach. And that's where I think we've got to be really good this Friday night offensively, is up front controlling their guys on defense. They're going to play a 4-3 defense. They'll slide guys in and out depending on what package we have in offensively. But they're going to play with 4 down linemen. Again, these aren't the big dominant guys they've had in the past, but it's a younger group. Their defense only has 4 seniors, so they're playing with some sophomores. They're playing with mainly juniors. And these guys are kind of young to a Friday night, but they're really athletic, do a good job of getting off blocks. But they're not huge guys. I mean, we got to do a great job of putting a body on a body and maintaining and wearing those guys down. That to me, that's the key matchup of the ball game. They're probably going to get their points. They're going to have explosive play here and there offensively because they're that good. We have to keep them and limit that by us staying on the field, controlling the ball game. So key to the game, there's your key. All right, offense, maintain possession, wear down their defense, and keep the ball out of their offensive hands. And hopefully that frustrates them, and and hopefully we can get some turnovers in the process as well. That's the game plan. Special teams wise, they're consistent across the board. Nothing fancy. They just do a great job. We're looking at potential block areas on punt, PAT, that kind of stuff. They're just extremely sound. I haven't found anything yet we can really feel like we can go and exploit. Doesn't mean we're not going to have some packages in there to go and work on that, but they're really good. I mean, it's just they're a very good football team. Again, number 8 in the state, unless they moved up, and very consistent. And again, I look at it as an opportunity and to go play a guy, go shock them. I had a chance to about once a year talk to Roger Emmerich, and he called from TSN. He calls me this week, and we had a conversation about this game too earlier in the week. So it's going to be recognized. It's already been recognized as one of the top games, and so now it's on us to go out there, and hopefully he'll call me back next week and say, "How'd you guys do that?" And that's our goal. So those are the plans and what we're looking for. And again, it's a good T-High team, and we're going to travel to Texarkana on Friday night and get after them.
The Lady Cats volleyball team lost a heartbreaker in Wildcats Gym Tuesday night as Hallsville rallied to defeat the Lady Cats 3-2. The score was 26-24, 25-22, 22-25, 17-25, and 9-15. After the match, I talked with Lady Cats volleyball coach Justin Manis.
Sharita Hill had 11 kills. Autumn Tanton had 12 kills. Abby Bear had 4 kills. Mika Van Bitham had 7, Tori Moore had 3, Kaylee Jefferson had 8, Madison Vickery had 3. Tori Moore had 46 assists, Andon Hammock, 10, 15, 20, 25, 26 digs. That's really good. Amani Taylor, 13 digs. Tori Moore, 11 digs. Kaylee Jefferson, 18 digs. Block solos. Sharita Hill had 1, Madison Vickery had 1. Sharita Hill had 3 block assists, Autumn Tanton had 3 block assists, Mika had 3 block assists, Tori, Kaylee, and Madison each had 1 block assist. Service aces, Amani Taylor had 2, Maggie McGlamory had 1, Autumn Tanton had 1, Tori Moore had 1.
And Coach, the way I see it, we really challenged Hallsville. We won the first 2 sets, but it seemed like they just have some extra gear or something when they get in that situation.
With a team like that, and I've been in situations like that a bunch, when you're up 2 sets, you got to play like you're down 2 sets. You got to play like you're scratching and fighting. And I'm not saying we didn't, but we didn't have the same spark that we had in the first 2 sets. And you can't let a team like that get up on you because it's hard to fight back, which I thought we were going to do it in set 4. We started making a push. I told the girls I'm proud of them. This is probably the furthest they've ever pushed Hallsville. And, it could have gone either way tonight.
Yeah. Anybody kind of stick out in your mind and read the stats and stuff?
I thought Sharita Hill, first few sets, had some really key kills. I thought at the net we played well. We could have got some more hands on the block. Andon Hammock dug the ball really well tonight. Autumn Tanton came up big on some slides for us. Just come down the wire who's going to make the fewer errors, and Hallsville made the fewer errors.
I know you don't want this to linger any. You've got to continue to.
Oh yeah, no. If anything, they need to take this and go, hey, we can play with the best. And so I'm hoping we use this as fuel to go through the rest of district. It's not over yet.
Yeah.
Playing Hallsville wasn't the end of the season. We have to continue to go.
A tough place to go, Texas High, always a tough gym to play in, and so that'll be an interesting one to try to get back on the road in the right.
Oh yeah, just being on the road and having to travel is hard enough. But I know we beat Texas High here in 3, so they're going to be looking to get back at us at home. We have some things to do in practice to prepare for them, but just playing in a different gym, their crowd, we're going to need to be ready for that.
If you can share it, what was your message to the team after this one?
Oh, I told them to leave with their heads held high. I said, it didn't go our way, but when 2 great teams play, this is what you should expect. It's excitement. And I told them we can't linger on it. We got to move on.
I thought it was a playoff atmosphere, and the gym was nice. The mob over there had a good time.
Oh yeah.
It was really.
And that's what volleyball matches should be, and that's what I'm hoping volleyball here at Sulphur Springs gets to every single match. I want people to come out and watch us because we're exciting to watch.
The Lady Cats are now tied for second in district with Texas High. The Cumbie Lady Trojans volleyball team got a big district win at home on Tuesday night. The Lady Trojans defeated the Lady Owls of Yantis 3-0. Score was 25-10, 25-13, and 25-11. Cumbie is now a solid 3-1 in district play and 9-12 for the season. Tuesday night, Ashley Haygood and J.C. Weatherby scored 14 points each on serves. Weatherby also led the team with 9 kills and 5 blocks. Sydney Spillers and Paige Seeley led the team with 11 digs. Elise Bullock had 15 assists. The Lady Trojans play next on Friday at 4:30 p.m. in Fruitvale. Wildcats team tennis squad had their playoff hopes vanish Tuesday after a 15-4 loss to Greenville at home. Last week, a 10-9 victory over Mount Pleasant became a 10-9 loss after an issue with a Wildcat ineligible player. I talked with Wildcats tennis coach Tony Martinez, who was proud of the way that his team approached Tuesday's match with Greenville.
The whole idea was to come back to play Greenville. We still had another shot at it, so it wasn't like we were dead or done with. And I put the challenge to the kids yesterday afternoon, and it's been the challenge to them since last Wednesday when we had that, make the change to the reversal call. But the challenge was, hey, let's, be resilient. Let's fight for every point. Let's play this match like, it does depend on us going to area tournament. The kids took it upon themselves to practice more. They did after-hours stuff. They did weekend workouts on their own. So it was very, very impressive. So you could tell that the kids really wanted it yesterday.
It didn't turn out the way they wanted it to.
No, it didn't. We had some great matches. We swept all the boys' doubles, and that was kind of our plan. And we were hoping that we could pick up some, the girls' matches, but it wasn't in the cards yesterday for that.
Kind of unusual to have your real success with your boys' doubles, but they break it down into singles, and they couldn't.
Yeah, there were about 2 to 3 boys. that we thought we would be picking it up, and it was a long afternoon, and so, but they still even competed, in those matches, in the singles matches, boys and girls. If they lost the first set 6-1, it could have been 3 or 4. They were still fighting for the games after that. So that was my expectations for the team, that that we didn't lie down and just play dead. We fought for everything to the very end. And so, like I said, I was very, very proud of these kids. This is the first time where they did pick themselves up and presented themselves well in the tennis program.
That'll help them in the future. It's bound to be.
In life skills, everything, and that's what that's the main part of the tennis. Is the life skills. They're going to have road bumps. They're going to have roller coaster rides, up and downs. There are going to be certain things in front of them that'll keep them from getting be it a job, be it get into a school, but they'll learn how to bounce back, and and I told them that yesterday. Maybe you don't get that job, but you may get a better job the next day. So you don't stop looking. So that's just part of the life skills.
Pretty good crowd turned out.
Great crowd. It was excellent. I had one of the administrators stopped me today and said you should put a gate down there and charge to come in, and maybe you're going to make some money that way, because we had the parking lot full yesterday. Great crowd.
I appreciated Mike Lamb. He blocked out most of the sun.
We were very happy to have him there, and it wasn't like him, being there for 2 or 3 minutes. He spent the afternoon watching a very intensive doubles match, and the players and the parents are very appreciative of him being there too. Like I said, it's a great administration, great people, and like I said, they came out to watch, and hopefully we, gave them a good show, and but like I said, the support is there from the administrators. It's great.
You'll have one more match. You'll go to Pine Tree, I believe, right?
We go to Pine Tree next week on Tuesday, and that'll finish up our season. And I'm looking for us to get a big win there. I'm planning to play everybody who's been with us since August the 1st, and everybody was guaranteed, hopefully, to play that day. So I think we'll do well.
I know in the past, maybe after the end of the varsity season, you've done some more JV, but I know you did some JV during the season. Will there be some more of that?
I do have some more JV matches. I have some planned. They're the 24th or the 25th of October. And then I have a few in November. We're just picking up schools. But this year I'm kind of really tried to focus more or less on the varsity. But now, and after next Tuesday, then it strictly goes back to JV for the next month and a half or so.
I know you've done a lot of outreach in the community. You've got classes for different age groups. You're continuing to do some of that stuff.
Yes, I do have a tournament plan. I think it's in November 5th, but it's for the Can Help, having the coat drive. That's our first thing we're kicking off. Then I do plan in December to have like a polar bear tournament for the kids, for especially the middle school kids and the younger JV kids. It'll be about the second week in December.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.